Man, we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about what the Cleveland Browns did in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. And for everybody that's been following along on this Simply Ball Dropping podcast, on all the shows I produced about the Cleveland Browns and what the Cleveland Browns should do, y'all should remember when Shedeur Sanders won his first game against the Las Vegas Raiders as a starter. I told everybody, I produced a show and said they got their franchise quarterback. They just need to build around him in the draft. And see, the Cleveland media and the Cleveland insiders had a different narrative. Now the Cleveland insiders and the Cleveland media are looking like idiots. You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp, where we got to talk about what this first round draft for the Cleveland Browns looked like and how it made the Cleveland media and the Cleveland insiders look like complete fools. And we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sapp, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your top hits. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio stereo. Pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic. Man, I got something to say.
Well, guys, you know I got something to say, man. And like I told you guys around here that's been in my streets and been on my channel, I keep receipts. And all you got to do is go look at my catalog when I produce shows talking about Shedeur Sanders wasn't the problem. You need to build around Shedeur Sanders, and you need to go get guys in the trenches. And what did I tell you guys? In the draft, you need to go get you some offensive linemen. Go get you a wide receiver and see what the Cleveland media and the Cleveland insiders was doing this whole offseason, just making up narratives, anybody but Shedeur. They thought that they was going to take a quarterback in the draft. They kept on saying, in free agency, go get a quarterback. That never happened. First round of the draft, that never happened. Because what happened was the last two games of the season, Shedeur Sanders threw a monkey wrench in the system when he won the last two games against against Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. And see what that did is that put Cleveland at number 6 in the draft position. So that gave the Raiders the number 1 pick. So they took Francisco Mendoza. He's off the board. And everybody thought that Ty Simpson was going to go. Ty Simpson surprisingly went to the Rams at number 15. But check this out. Like I told y'all, it all started the day of free agency when Andrew Berry was standing 10 toes down. And I told you guys what Andrew Berry started when he started going out making them trades in free agency and making them pickups. This is what happened. So he started off free agency by building in the trenches. And this is what he did. See, he went out and got Titus Howard. He went out and got Zion Johnson. He went out and got a linebacker in Quincy Wilson. He re-signed Tevin Jenkins. Went and got Elton Jenkins. And then what happened after that is the draft is coming up. The Cleveland media still talking all this oof-wah and putting all these narratives out there. Anybody but Shedeur. If I was them, this is what I would do. I would go get a quarterback and all that. But I've been telling you guys about the Cleveland media and these insiders, as such as Jason Lloyd, Adam the Bull, Mary Kay Cabot, Tony Grossi, Anthony Lima. They sparing all these narratives out there, but they just didn't want to listen. This is stuff that they wanted because, like Shedeur Sanders said after the first minicamp practice, he said, man, we need a positive energy. We don't need y'all's negativity no more. This is the new Cleveland. Let's bring positivity. And see, what happened was Andrew Berry stood 10 toes down. And what happened was the Cleveland media and insiders was pissed off because Kevin Stefanski got fired and Andrew Berry still had a job. And Andrew Berry was calling the shots. So what Andrew Berry did in this draft, he proved that they all in on Shedeur. And he proved to a lot of people that he had to build in the trenches and build around Shedeur to make this team a go. because all the quarterbacks that they talked about in free agency, they never walked in the building. You still stuck with Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel. Let's have this quarterback competition. Let them fight it out. But that lets you know that Todd Monken, when he took over as head coach, he stood 10 toes down on everything he said about Shedeur Sanders. And he says Shedeur Sanders is his guy. He's been telling you guys this from day one. And now they're building around Shedeur Sanders because what they did in the draft, they had the number 6 pick. They traded that away to Kansas City and slipped down to number 9 and got some insurance picks later on in the draft. So what they did in the first round just proved that the Cleveland insiders, nothing but bull job. They just had this narrative, anything but Shedeur. So what they did in the draft proved to you guys and proved to the Cleveland media and these insiders that you don't know what you're talking about. And G. Bush was trying to tell y'all a long time ago, as long as myself, as long as FB Tings, as long as Money Made, as long as Big Snacks, we all been holding it down, and all the CU aunties. Hey, look, you build around Shedeur Sanders, you build in the trenches, and that's what the Cleveland Browns did with their first 2 picks in the first round. So let's take a look at what they did. With the number 9 pick, they went and got Spencer Fano. They said Spencer Fano was the best offensive tackle that was in the draft. A lot of people think get somebody like Spencer Fano to play left tackle, and he is versatile because you need a left tackle, and he is versatile and he can move around. Then what happens was the draft was kind of, going high speed. It was a lot of picks in places that people didn't think that was going to happen. Cornell Tate got off the board early, and then everybody wanted Makai Lemon, but Makai Lemon got off the board as well before Cleveland could get that pick at 24. So what Cleveland did is went and got the next best receiver available. And with that number 24th pick, look who they got. They got KC Concepcion. KC Concepcion out of Texas A&M. He had 61 receptions, 919 yards, 10 total TDs, and 25. And look at some of his highlights, man. He creates separation. He can get to the house. You know what I'm saying? He can catch the ball. He can play on special teams, punt return. But that is another weapon added for Shedeur Sanders to go alongside Jerry Jeudy, Isaiah Bond, and a lot of people said that KC Concepcion can be the replacement, for Jerry Jeudy, and he's a big guy. And KC Concepcion was the next best available outside of Cornell Tate, Makai Lemon, and then you got KC Concepcion out of Texas. Later on in the draft, in the second round, 3rd round and the 5th round, so they can go out and still get pieces that they need. They can probably add another receiver. They can probably add some more guys in the trenches. But as far as that first round, Cleveland did well in that first round. I'm surprised that they traded back to number 9 and let, Kansas City get that number 6 pick so Kansas City can get their guy, the cornerback that they picked, because they just traded away their number 1 cornerback. So they needed another cornerback for replacement. So it's a win-win. But KC Concepcion at wide receiver, you got 2 guys that can come in and be starters for the Cleveland Browns. And that goes to show you that they are all in on Shedeur Sanders. And this draft so far for the Cleveland Browns is working out for them. And like I've always said, you had your franchise quarterback. All you got to do is go build around him. And I think Andrew Berry has listened, and Andrew Berry has impressed a lot of people because he come out the gate swinging. Went and got his offensive tackle that he wanted. Went and got that big girth on the offensive line. Went and got you a big play receiver in KC Concepcion. So things are working well for the Cleveland Browns, and that just proved that the Cleveland insiders and the Cleveland media are some idiots. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simple Ball drops another hot banger. And look forward for some more videos when we look into the second round of the draft, going up into Saturday, and we'll see what else that Andrew Berry pours off. And that's going to wrap up another episode of a Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.